I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. You say of me, I believe.
What's the point? Get to the point. I listen to some preachers, and what they do is they go from one scripture to the next scripture, back and forth and back and forth. And it's really confusing. I leave the church wondering what in the world they said. I do that sometimes too. Sometimes we tend to ramble, but today I'm going to try to get to the point. Jesus always seemed to get to the point. The people, after they heard Jesus speak, I knew they knew what the point was. And they remembered it long after the sermon. About 3 years ago, my son's wife, brother was killed in an accident. He was killed in an accident in Morgantown. He loved the cranberry backcountry. He loved going up there and camping and walking between the gates and fishing. He spent lots of time up there. Each year, in honor of his memory, they go to the cranberry backcountry and they build a shelter. I think they've built 3 shelters, and they're going to build a total of 7. Boy, they are nice. They are built by the National Forest Spec, and they are very, very nice. This past week was the week that they were going to Cranberry to build another shelter. And I go to Morgantown when they do that to take care of my son's 2 dogs and cat, and to watch his house. This past Monday, I left Bluefield and got on Route 79, and the traffic was really heavy. I got close to Beckley, and I was in the left lane. And there was a tractor trailer beside me. And as I was going along, he got near to me, and he pushed me off, and I thought I was going to hit the guardrail. It was a 2-trailer truck. And as he moved over, his back trailer clipped the mirror off of the passenger's side and scratched the side of the car. I chased him for a while. All I could see was YRC on the back of his trailer. I chased him for a while, but I couldn't catch him. He was driving fast, and he was moving down the road. Well, I let him go. At the toll booth at Beckley, I pulled off, and I thought, I should call the police. And I went in and called the police, and I sat there for 10 or 15 minutes, and the police finally came. And he said, you know, we'll look for him, but we probably won't catch him. That was that. And as I was driving to Morgantown, I thought, you know, I am very, very fortunate, because I could have been shoved off of the side of the road, and who knows what would have happened. Point is, in other words, it's by the grace of God that I'm here this day. That's the point. In this passage of Scripture, Jesus is traveling to a place called Sychar. That was a Samaritan village. And he stops and he tells his disciples, go into town and get food. Jesus was tired and he was thirsty. And he was at the place of Jacob's well, and he went down to get a drink. And as he was sitting there, a Samaritan woman comes out. And they talk and they talk and they talk. They talk about everything in the world. They talk about whose well is this? Is it a Samaritan well or is it a Jewish well? Whose children are Jacob's? Are they Samaritans? Are they Jews? They talk about being thirsty. They talk about religion. They talk about everything. They talk about the woman having 5 husbands. They talk about getting a drink of water. And they refer to water in different ways. Jesus says, if you drink of the water that I have, you will never thirst again. You see, this woman was an outcast. She thought badly of herself, I'm sure. And here she is sitting talking to Jesus. And Jesus says, if you would have asked me, I would have given you a drink of living water. And she says, Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet. And Jesus says, I am the Messiah, the one that comes into the world to forgive people, to forgive all people. And the woman accepts him. And you know what she does? She goes into the village where she lives and she talks about Jesus. And then Jesus goes into that village and stays 2 days. And many people receive Jesus as being the Messiah. The point is, here's the point, that Jesus' love and forgiveness is available to all people in all places. People of all types and all kinds. While I was at Morgantown, I slipped away one day and I went and played golf. Paradise Island golf course. I got to the golf course and I pulled up on the first tee, and this man drove up and he said, do you want somebody to play with? I really didn't. I wanted to play by myself, but what was I supposed to say? I said, sure. He said, I'm 77. I hit from the red tees. I said, I'm 65 and I'll hit with the red tees with you. Pulled up to the first tee and he dribbled one, maybe 75 yards down the fairway. I hit a gigantic drive that faded right into the center of the fairway. We took off. I hit the ball over the green. He hit it up just close to the green. He chipped up and knocked in the putt. He did that every hole. About the 3rd hole, he asked me, he said, what do you do? And I said, I'm a preacher. He said, well, I hope you preach better than you play golf. I said, I'm not sure I do. He said, if I'd known you as a preacher, I would have watched my language. I said, you have not said anything I haven't heard. You have not said anything I haven't said. And we got around to the Last hole, he did the same thing. He hit a short drive, he chipped up, and he made a putt. He beat me like a drum. Walked off the 9th tee, and he started talking. He said, my wife just died recently. And he said, my daughter's in the hospital dying right now. He said, I've never prayed. And I said, do you want to pray? He said, why not? And we had a prayer there on the 9th hole. The love of Jesus Christ is available to everyone who will receive it. It's available to preachers that can't seem to make the point. It's available to reckless truck drivers. It's available to outcasts, those who are on the fringes of society. It's available to people of all types, all colors, all races. Amen.
Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. Ooh, you say